Hello sew major, welcome back to my channel. On today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to cut and sew this really cute dress you are seeing on the screen. You'll also be learning how to make the sleeve part. So if this is what you like to learn, make sure you watch till the end and don't skip any part so that you miss any important tip. Alright, let's go to the cutting table. I have my Ankara fabric and this non-stretchy crepe. I've gone ahead to draft out my front pattern. I'll be making some alteration on this pattern to achieve the style I have on my thumbnail. This gown is a bustier gown, but I won't be using wadding or foam to pad it, so I'll be showing you how you can go about it. So first of all, I will mark a nipple to nipple point measurement. I will mark it on the nipple point and on the underbust so that I can get a straight line. As you can see, I mark around underbust measurement. So when you are making this kind of bustier, make sure you mark the round underbust measurement so that the bustier can fit properly. Placing your round underbust measurement on the underbust line will make the bustier to relax very well on the underbust. For the dart intake, I will mark 0.75 on this side and 1.25 on this side. I'll come down by ½ inch to curve the bustier. This is from bust 35 to 38. You can use this dart intake. So I'll curve it the way you see me doing. After that, I will now roll it straight down. So I will measure the total of the dart intake and I will replace it on the side. I will also replace the one I have on the underbust. After that, I will connect it to the chest line. You connect it the way you see me doing. As you can see, I left ½ inch on the chest line. This ½ inch I left here is because I am not padding it, so you leave the ½ inch for ease. To mark our cup size, I will come up by 6.5 inches from the underbust. This line now will serve as our over bust, so I will roll it straight down the way you see me doing. So from the shoulder slope to that over bust line is 6 inches. So this 6 inches will serve as our yoke. That's where the yoke will stop. On this over bust line, I will also be marking half of our nipple to nipple point measurement, and I will connect it the way you see me doing. So after rolling it straight, I will be marking ½ inch on the bust side to tighten the over bust, and I will come up by ½ inch from the bust point line to curve it the way you see me doing. For the neck width, I will be marking 4.5 inches, and for the neck depth, I will also be marking 4.5 inches. This is like a canoe neckline. So what you take on your neck width is what you are going to be marking on your neck depth. So I will mark it. Can you see how I position my pattern master? Curve your neckline like boats. And you see it's not that curvy like round neckline. For the keyhole detail, I'll come down by 1.5 inches. I initially mark 2 inches, but I reduce it to 1.5. So after that, I will make an oval shape. Just fix your eyes on the screen and make sure you follow my markings. The space of the keyhole is about 0.75 on this down part. If you want it to be more open, you can take 1 inch, but for me I took 0.75. So I want to be adding my sewing allowance on this pattern, so I will mark 1.5 for my sewing allowance. After that, I'll connect it. So the next thing is to replace this dart intake on the armhole area. So I'll mark 1 inch and I will reconnect my armhole. The next thing is to go ahead and cut my pattern out. For the back part, I've gone ahead to mark out my basic bodice. So as you can see, I have marked my basic neckline and ½ inch for shoulder slant. So I've also marked my round body measurement. This is 2 inches for zipper allowance. I want to mark my back dart, so I mark a nipple to nipple point. I came down by 1 inch from the bust point line and I rule a straight line. So I'll mark ½ inch for the dart intake and I will connect it. So the length of her dart is 6.5. I'll write it to indicate so that when I'm sewing it, I will know where to stop my stitches. To remove the zipper boy, I'll come in by 1 inch and I will slant it the way you see me doing. This is very important so that the invisible zipper will relax very well. I'm going to be using invisible zipper for this gown. For the neck width, I'll be using 4.5, and for the neck depth I'll also be using 4.5. So for this both neckline, the back neckline and front neckline is the same, so I will also curve my canoe neckline. So I will replace this dart intake here, that's 1 inch, and I will connect it to the chest line. So I will add my 1.5 inches sewing allowance. So I'm done cutting it out. For the back yoke, I will measure what I have on my front yoke. Just place your tape like so and measure. So because I took 1 inch for the front shoulder slope, I will come down by ½ inch to mark it. As I have 6 inches. So on this side I will mark 6.5 to connect it. This side is high, so that means it's 6.5. Can you see? This is the 6 inches I measured earlier. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. For the front yoke, I've added ½ inch on the down part, ½ inch on the shoulder, the armhole, and the neckline. So I'll cut it this way. After cutting it out, I'll spread it for you to see what I have. This is what you are going to be having after cutting it out. I've also cut out my back yoke. Can you see I added ½ inch round? The same thing I added on the front yoke. I've used my crepe to cut the bustier parts. Can you see what I have? I added ½ inch the way you are seeing it on this video. So this is my back part. I'll make sure I notch the dart. I've also cut my lining the way I cut the main fabric. For the bustier part, I will pin it this way. This is how I'm going to be sewing it. I'll pin the side. Make sure you pin the underbust first, and you sew it the way you normally sew your bustier. After that, I will sew the back dart. So I'm gonna head to cut out my basic skirt pattern. I cut it directly on the fabric. So for this skirt pattern, I added slits for the back part. So you go ahead and cut your basic skirt pattern. If you don't know how to cut a basic skirt, I have a tutorial on that. I would advise you draft your basic skirt on a paper so that you not end up wasting your fabric. This is because of the Ankara that I'm going to be attaching on the down part. So I will show you how to go about that. So from the sewing allowance, I will measure the length of the band, which I use 3.5 inches. So from the hemline, I have about 5 inches. So when I'm cutting the back, I will just come up by 5 inches from the hemline. So I will cut it out. I will notch this part that I'll be attaching to the main skirt. So I'll go ahead and transfer it to my fabric. I've cut it out. So I added ½ inch this part that I'll be joining with the main skirt. Can you see what I have? Please note that before I cut out the 5 inches for the Ankara part, I use the basic skirt to cut my lining. Please don't forget to notch this part that you'll be joining to the crepe. So this is how you are going to be sewing it. You sew with ½ inch. Just place it like so and sew it down with ½ inch. I'll also repeat the same thing on the back part. So I'm done sewing the bustier cup. Can you see what I have? So I'll go ahead and make a notch on the underbust. After that, I will open press the seam and give it a proper ironing. Iron it very well. I'll do the same thing on the lining. So after ironing it, this is what I have. Can you see that? I've given it a good ironing. For my yoke, I've gone ahead to iron my tissue gumstay on it. Make sure you iron gumstay on it to stabilize it. So I'll fold it into two to determine the middle point. I'll also fold the crepe into two, the way you see me doing. I'll notch the midpoint, so I'll match it together the way you see me doing. Match the notch part together and pin it down. After that, I'll go and sew with 1/2 inch. I'll also do the same thing on the back part. Please don't forget to add your back darts. I'm done joining the band, so I will open press it and iron it very well. I've also joined my yoke for the upper part. I make sure I open press and iron properly. Can you see what I have? The next thing I'll be doing now is to join the lower and the upper part together, both for the front and back. I'll also do the same thing for the lining. I will join the upper part and the lower part of the lining together. Please note that I reduced my lining by 1.5 inches on the hemline. After joining the front part, I'll also repeat the same thing on the back part. I'm done joining it. Can you see what I have? This is my lining. So what I'll be doing now is to use the lining to turn the back neckline and to turn the slit part and the hemline. This is how I'm going to be sewing the slit. Can you see that? I'll sew like this. Can you see what I did? So I'll sew this side and I will turn it to the right side. For the front part, I'll use the lining to turn the both side of the gown and also the hemline. After that, I will turn it to the right side. I will not be turning the neckline. So what I will do is that I will stitch the neckline down and the keyhole. Please don't turn it with lining. So after that, you can iron it out. Can you see the back part? I turn only the neckline of the back. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to fix my zipper. So I'll go ahead and do it off camera and I'll come back and show you what I have. I'm done fixing my invisible zipper. This is how it's looking like. The next thing is to work on the front neckline. So I have my velvet bias here. I have the one of 1 inch for the neckline and the one of 1/2 inch for the keyhole detail. I use the 1/2 inch to pipe the keyhole, so you place it from the wrong side the way you see me doing. I will sew with 0.25. Don't sew up to 1/2 inch. Just make a tiny stitch. So I'm done sewing it. Can you see? I'll just make a small notch. Just notch it. After notching it, I will turn it to the right side the way you see me doing. Can you see what I'm doing? I'll use my pin to hold it first. You can use your iron to iron it down before stitching it. Please use a low heat iron or use a steam iron to iron your velvet. So after ironing it down, I will go and sew at the edge, just at the edge with a tiny stitch. So I'm done sewing it. This is how it looks like. For the big one, I will sew it the way you see me doing. Just fix your eyes on the screen, you understand what I'm doing. So I will pin it down. I'll just pin it down so that you understand how I'm going to sew it. So if you get to the keyhole, you merge it together. Make sure that the keyhole is matching. Can you see? I'll place it and continue my pinning. Can you see the right side? The keyhole, I make sure it's meeting each other. After that, I'll also sew with 0.25, not up to 1/2 inch, please. Can you see how the right side is looking like? I make sure there's no space in between the keyhole. It's meeting each other. I'm gonna ahead to sew it with 0.25. I'll remove my pins. This is what I have. Can you see? I will trim it off. This keyhole part, I will trim it so that it won't be bulky. So after trimming it off, I will turn it to the right side the way you see me doing, and I will stitch it down at the edge, just at the edge with a tiny stitch. So on this keyhole part, I'll make sure it's relaxing very well. I'll just press it down this way and pin it. you can go ahead to iron it down. After ironing it, you stitch it down. I'm done stitching it down. Can you see that? It's really looking very neat. The next thing is to show you how I cut the sleeve. So I've cut out my basic sleeve. It's like in form of A-line sleeve. I use the length of 25 inches. Our normal sleeve length is 22, but I added extra inches to make it longer. After placing her around armhole, added extra 2 inches. For the A-line shape, I marked 11 inches for that. So from the armhole, I slanted it to form my A-line shape. To give the sleeve that high-low effect on the hemline, I will be coming up by 1.5 inches from the hemline, and I will curve it the way you see me doing. 1.5 inches. I reduced it to 1.5 inches because of the sewing allowance. So I curve it the way you see me doing. After curving it, I'll cut it out. After cutting it out, I'll measure what I have on my armhole, whether it's complete. So mine is complete. I'll also confirm it here. I have an excess of ½ inch on the sleeve part, so I'll trim it off. I'll make sure that it's equal with the main fabric. After that, I will measure the length of the yoke. I have 6.5 inches. So on the sleeve, I'll make it 6 inches. I mark 6 inches on the sleeve because I'll be joining the shoulder together. But if you wish to pleat the sleeve, you can leave it at that 6.5 inches or even 7 inches. But for me, I'll reduce it to 6 inches. After that, I'll measure what I have left. Whatever you get, you roll it straight down. If you want the crepe fabric to be obvious, that's to be big, you can mark about 6 inches and slant it from the armhole. I think that would be better. I'll be doing that later on the fabric. So for now, just cut this one out. After cutting it out, I'll go ahead and transfer it to my fabric. I'm going ahead to cut out the crepe part. I added ½ inch on the side that I'll be joining with the Ankara fabric. I cut the center part, that's the Ankara fabric, on fold. So this one is also 2. I will notch this part so that I will not get confused when I want to join the Ankara fabric. So make sure you interface the Ankara part. Iron soft gum stay on it. After that, I'll go ahead and join it. After joining it, I open press and iron properly. For this crepe part, I later increased the hemline by 6 inches. So from the armhole, I slanted it so that the crepe will be obvious. I did not cut it straight the way I illustrated on the pattern. After joining the crepe and the fabric together, you now place it on your lining and cut exactly what you have there. As you can see, I folded my lining into 4 so that I can cut the both sleeve at once. After cutting it out, I will reduce my lining by 1 inch. After that, I will turn the lining with the fabric. So to join it, you need to fold the sleeve head into 2 and notch it. After that, you match it on the shoulder, the line on the shoulder. Make sure it's matched. You pin it round. The aim is to make the Ankara on the sleeve and on the fabric to match. It's supposed to be equal, so make sure you pin it very well. You can as well match the Ankara on the fabric and on the sleeve together. Just match it together and pin to make sure that it's equal. After that, I'll go and sew with me. After sewing it, you can go ahead and close your sleeve. Okay, this is what I have when I was done joining everything together. Can you see the finished look? It came out really nice. Thanks for watching. Bye.